1 to him. He's 1 for 3, has a couple of RBIs tonight.
And I think the conversation that Lopez had with Merker was, look, there are 2 outs. Do not give too much of your attention to Lofton at second base. Let's get the hitter.
Especially with Bell due next.
Mordecai trying to sneak in behind. Now Lofton takes off, and there's no chance in the world.
Well, not only that was a bad play by Merker. Anytime your shortstop is standing at the bag, you either have to step off or throw to second base. I mean, if he throws that pitch over the plate and Baerga hits the ball, now watch. Mordecai will go to the bag. You have to either throw it or step off. You got the whole left side open, and if he would have thrown a strike and Baerga pulled the ball, it would have been a base hit. Just not a smart play there by Merker. Step off if you don't want to throw to second.
Now Lofton dancing down the line at third as the pitch comes home to Baerga. Hit toward the hole. Mordecai from the outfield grass can't throw as he slips. And the speed of Lofton produces a run.
And as I said earlier, he loves this stage. He likes being the focus, and he is the catalyst of this ball club.
There's one more time. Baerga pulled an outside pitch into the hole. There's Mordecai with a backhanded play. Down he goes. Lofton scores easily, and the Indians up again by 2. There's one more time. A pitch away from Baerga, and he pulled it to the hole. There's a nice play by Mordecai. If he can set himself, he may be able to throw out the slow-footed Baerga. Didn't work that way.
It's 5-3. And Bell takes a ball.
You know, if he does make that play, Joe, I think he has a chance to throw him out. Baerga running from the right side and hobbled. I think he had a chance to throw him out. Day late, the dollar is short. It's a run.
Two and 0 to Bell. Omar Vizquel was talking the other day about Bell's outbursts. He can be a surly guy, Albert Bell. Omar said, I've seen him break water coolers, smash telephones, and throw cookies. Now here's what I say. A telephone, a water cooler, that's one thing. When you start throwing the Oreos around, forget about it. You've gone too far. 3 and 0. You just start pitching cookies around a clubhouse, you have crossed the line. Obviously, he's swinging here on 3 and 0 if he sees something he likes.
But if you're Merker, you try to throw something close enough off the plate away just so he will swing at it.
He looked like he was taking all the way, didn't he?
Yeah, the way he was standing up there, it appeared that he was going to take a pitch, and Merker missed with a low fastball. I guess in that situation, Joe, I mean, with a guy like Bell and in the situation we have here, that wasn't a bad pitch. I mean, you know, if you want to take a whack at one, he's a guy that drives in a lot of runs for you, then take a whack and try and go for it, but he didn't.
Well, he's not swinging the bat as well. He hasn't had a lot of success, and as you know, as a hitter, if you're not swinging the bat well, you're not getting a lot of base hits. You're not overly aggressive.
Merker had done a great job until this inning when with 1 out, he walked Lofton. As Vizquel grounded out on a hit and run, Lofton took second. Then he stole third uncontested, and an infield hit by Baerga brought him home from third. Now Bell walks, so runners at first and second with 2 out. Merker sits down next to the pitching coach Leo Mazzoni, and Greg McMichael, the right-hander, comes out of the bullpen. Sunday on NBC, our NFL coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern with the pregame show, hosted by Greg Gumbel and featuring Joe Montana, Joe Gibbs, and the coach Mike Ditka. And as a matter of fact, I think Jim Kelly is here tonight. Buffalo and Miami, the featured duel on NBC. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right. right, thank you very much, Bob. Indeed, Jim Kelly is here, and at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills will take on the Miami Dolphins. 4 of them represented: Keith Byers, O.J. McDuffie, Eric Green, and Terry Kirby, the brother of Wayne Kirby of the Indians. First of all, will Dan Marino be back and play on Sunday?
Yeah, he'll be back this weekend.
He's all right? He's feeling better?
Yeah, he'll be all right. We're just up here having fun right now, worried about the Indians, get them to get a win tonight.
All right, Terry, let's jump over to Jim Kelly. Thurman Thomas got hurt last night. Jim, is he all right? Will he play?
Well, we shall see. I mean, it doesn't look good. Looks like he might be out for 2 to 3 weeks, but the key is getting everybody healthy. We have Andre out, Thurman out. We have to find a way to win. We're still at the top of the AFC East, but you never know.
A quick update on Marv Levy.
Well, I talked to him earlier, and he's doing fine. It doesn't look like he'll be out as long as people think he is, but my prayers are with him. He's an heck of a coach, and we need him.
All right, Jim. Well, they have one thing in common tonight, Bob. They're all for the Indians tonight. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Jim, and there you see the importance of that battle in the AFC East Sunday on NBC. Kelly can easily get back to Buffalo from Cleveland, but unless Don Shula has a late practice tomorrow or those guys chartered a plane, they might be in trouble. When Shula blows the whistle tomorrow in Miami.
Well, Greg McMichael throws a lot of changeups, and that pitch has bothered Eddie Murray in this entire series. That's why they brought him in.
In for a strike, and Murray doesn't think so. Bruce Fleming is as feisty as they come. Right or wrong, if you give him too much lip, your evening will end abruptly.
His statement is, I saw it right. No matter what it is, on the bases, ball or a strike, I saw it right.
Strike at the letters that Eddie thought was high. Tommy on deck. 1-1. In the top of the 8th, Grissom, Polonia, and Chipper Jones for Bobby Cox. Top of the order. Eddie pops it back, no play.
Good pitch by McMichael. He knows Eddie's sitting on a changeup there. Threw him another fastball in. Now he's got him set up for the changeup because he's seen the fastball in and he has to protect against that, so he'll be able to throw him a changeup now. If he can get it away, probably will be able to get Eddie out.
McMichael and Lopez having a little problem with the sign there. They've got a runner at second. That's Baerga out there, and Lopez going to a different set of signs here.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch.
Changeup
In the dirt, but he wasn't able to check his swing. Lopez tags him to make it official. But a huge run comes home in the 7th for the Indians to pad their lead.
Blah, 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 blah.
This is what I hate about car advertising. I want a car that doesn't need hype. One with a little elbow room. And safety. Show me standard dual airbags. Anti-lock brakes! Give me a powerful, efficient engine. I can figure out it's smart if you tell me it's well made and it's gonna last. Tell me a car like this exists, please. The 1996 Toyota Tercel. Ah, somebody was listening.
This is about how you go to sleep one day, running your business the same way you always have, and wake up the next morning with things like email, voicemail, PCs, pagers, a new communications network for free. It's not a fairy tale, a myth, or a parable. This is about how things can really happen. This is about opening your eyes instead of closing them, and making a call instead of a wish. Network MCI, that's how.
Over the last 150 years, all kinds of companies that said they'd be there when you needed them didn't stand up to their promises. That's life. Our policy of thoughtful, prudent investing has kept us, well, a pillar of strength for the last 150 years. That's New York life, the company you keep.
3 seconds left. Here's Van Exel. He got it. He got it. Smith with the catch. Oh, yeah. Do you believe what you just saw? Oh, a spectacular move.
And here is tonight's Toyota Diamond Dust answer. Who are the two other players, besides Eddie Murray, who have hit World Series home runs in 3 different decades? Well, Bob Uecker got one of them. You knew Yogi Berra and Joe DiMaggio in the 30s, 40s, and 50s for the Yankees is the other.
I only guessed once, so.
No.
Did you have an idea or not?
If I'd thought about it long enough, it's one of those answers you could figure out, because you got to go to the Yankees first.
Okay.
Figure a dynasty team.
A bit upset. I just
but I didn't get it.
No. I don't want you to don't get mad. I just asked you a question. I'm sorry.
Working on a short fuse here. And Nagy is working into the 8th.
You are.
Does that surprise you?
Well, I think it surprised me, except they got one more run there. I think he would have been out of the ball game if they wouldn't have gotten the run in the bottom.
Grissom swings on the first pitch. Ramirez sprinting back and right, and this ball hits the top of the wall. Grissom on his way to second and in with a leadoff double.
I think they left him in one pitch too long. I think you'll take him out now.
You know, you've got the left-hander and the right-hander up in the bullpen, and the left-hander was ready. And as we said earlier, I mean, you've gotten 7 good innings out of this guy. You get him an extra run to bring it back to a 2-run cushion, and he's still in here in the 8th. And Grissom with a leadoff double.
Fastball right out over the heart of the plate, and the wind helped it, pushing it out toward right. It very nearly cleared the wall, as you see, just a foot or two from the top.
Now I'm really surprised that he's leaving him in, except I guess he figures if he brings in the left-handed Ossenmacher, they will pinch hit for Polonia and bring up Mike Devereaux.
But in the League Championship Series, he left Ossenmacher in that game, and he did a great job against right-handed hitters in a situation that was on the line. I mean, the game was on the line.
I think if you're the Indians, you have to take him out too soon rather than too late.
Well, he's fallen behind Polonia 2-0. The next hitter, Chipper Jones, is a switch hitter. Then 2 lefties, McGriff and Justice. Tavares, the right-hander. Ossenmacher, the lefty. It looked like Hargrove might have said, "Do you think you can get this guy?" And Nagy said, you could plainly see him say, "I do."
Well,
so unless he proposed marriage, Nagy believes he can get Polonia.
Yep.
The 2-0. 3-0 with Jones on deck.
You know what Mike Hargrove was thinking right there on that last call by Fleming? He thought the pitch was a strike. It was close, but it was up.
Grissom goes diving back, but no throw from Nagy. Game 3, Atlanta up 2-0, but in the 8th here, it's 5-3 Cleveland. Called strike, 3-1. Polonia's 0 for 3. And Sorrento can't get it. It's by the diving first baseman. Grissom is waved home. RBI single for Polonia.
And we're back to what I said earlier in the ballgame: risk versus reward. Just getting Polonia out, what would have been the purpose? I still don't understand why it was so important for Nagy to pitch. For Nagy to pitch to Polonia. I don't understand why that was so important.
I don't know why he's in here in the 8th.
That's what I'm getting at. Why was it important for Nagy to have to get out Polonia.
No way. I mean, the way Hargrove has used his bullpen, and he's had the luxury of right-hander, lefter all year long. And then with Mesa to come in and work the ninth in those situations where you've had the lead. But it hasn't happened here tonight. I mean, 7 innings out of Nagy would have been enough for me.
Well, not only that, Chipper Jones is a switch hitter, so you couldn't have been waiting for anything special.
He's going to the left-hander, the former Brave, Paul Assenmacher. Nagy's done. We'll step aside.
Every dream begins with a single step. The determination to go beyond your best. The will to climb heights you've never known. For generations, people have come to America to chase their dreams. Soon they will come again, and the whole world will be watching. The Olympics, America's Games on NBC.
There's been an accident.
It was the trial of his career.
They cannot believe that I am the murderer. Do you think she's lying?
You decide. She was the partner who stole his heart. I love you. But when her husband is found dead...
They think you did it.
He must take on his toughest case, his own.
What in the hell are you talking about?
From the best-selling novel, Melrose Place's Daphne Zuniga, Jags, David James Elliott, NYPD Blues, Sharon Lawrence. Degree of Guilt, NBC Sunday.
Back at Jacobs Field, Bob Costas, Bob Uecker, Joe Morgan. It's a 1-run game again. And Polonia's at first with nobody out. And the heart of the order coming up. Chipper Jones, McGriff, and Justice. Assenmacher comes in. When we went to Atlanta for the first 2 games, he was very happy not to have to stay in the hotel. Still lives in Atlanta. Said, hey, I got to sleep in my own bed. He's been very effective in this postseason. In fact, all the lefties out of Mike Hargrove's bullpen have done a great job. Left-handed hitters against Assenmacher, Poole, and Embry combined are 0 for 14, and half of them have struck out.
Well, remember the league championship series, Bob, when he faced Seattle and Edgar Martinez and Jay Buhner in a key situation and strikes them out back-to-back. And again, that's why I don't understand why Hargrove didn't go to the bullpen. I mean, you've got 7 innings out of Nagy, and take him out, go to your bullpen. You got fresh arms out there and fresh legs and guys who had been throwing. And he waits till the 8th. The run is in here, still nobody out, and the tying run at first.
Chipper Jones turns around and bats from the right side.
If there would have been a left-handed hitter following Polonia, then I could understand, or a right-handed hitter that he was going to bring in a right-hander for. I could understand him leaving in, but there wasn't really much to accomplish by getting letting Nagy pitch to Polonia. Because with Chipper Jones being a switch hitter, it doesn't matter who you bring in, he's going to be able to get moved to the other side of the plate.
Assenmacher again to first, and Polonia again back. Jones has doubled, walked, and flied to center.
The Braves have always been able to come back late in ball games, especially when against the starters.
In there for a strike.
Assenmacher with a good fastball and features a nasty curve. Joe, I know you've seen this guy work before, and he's got an excellent curveball that he's not ashamed at all to throw in tight on right-handed batters. It's a very sharp downward breaking ball.
Assenmacher has begun growing a beard during this postseason. He began it clean-shaven except for the mustache.
He does not have a good pickoff move, and we'll see if the Braves are willing to give Polonia the green light.
Jones fouls it back.
Remember, if you're a base runner and the left-handed pitcher takes his right foot past the rubber, he has to go to the plate. So that's a real telltale sign for you.
Jones steps out and takes a long look at Jimmy Williams in the third base coaching box, but he's behind on the count now, 0-2. Down and in.
Now watch his right leg. Now when that foot goes behind the rubber, he has to go to the plate, and you can get a good jump by reading that. And see, to come to first base, he just picks it straight up. So he's very easy to read from that perspective. He kicks his right leg behind the rubber. It's very easy. You run. When he picks it straight up, he's going to either come over there, he's coming to first base.
Here's the 1-2. The runner not going, and the count levels. Nagy went 7 innings plus, 8 hits, 4 runs, struck out 4, walked 1. The book isn't closed on him because Polonia is his responsibility at first. There goes the runner with the pitch down and in, and Polonia steals second. The ball squirts away, but he's able to hold there after thinking about bolting for third.
And again, it was very easy to get a good jump off of Assenmacher because of his right foot. He just kicks it behind the rubber, or he picks it up to come to first. It's like a red light, green light. Green light when he goes behind, as he does there. Red light if he picks it straight up. Really no chance for Alomar. You see, he was trying to rush it. Ball gets away, but no chance for Polonia. Watch, right there, go. Right there, he does so. And he got a good jump, and he steals second base easily.
Alomar double clutched on that ball, too, Joe. He didn't have a good grip when he tried to get off the throw the first time.
And now Jones, after being behind in the count 0-2, draws a walk. The tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first, with nobody out in the 8th. A run already home here. Grissom doubled. Polonia singled him home. Now Polonia at second and Jones at first, and here's McGriff. Homered his last time. Ball 1. Although the percentages favor Assenmacher in the lefty-lefty matchup, Fred McGriff is on the short list of the most dangerous late-inning hitters in all of baseball over the past several years. In there, strike 1. Center. Lofton going back, way back to the track to haul it in. The runners tag, and they're both going to move up. A close play at second. And Chipper Jones is barely in there in time.
Very smart play by Polonia. I'm not so sure Chippers was as smart, but he makes it.
Well, now that he has made it, a single can give them the lead.
Hargrove now in a discussion with Frank Pulley. He was there. I thought he beat the throw, but a heck of a throw by Lofton.
Nice play by Lofton.
Heck of a throw. This is a heck of a catch and a heck of a throw. Polonia is going to make the break and go to third easily, but watch this throw by Lofton. And they almost nailed Jones at second. A one-hopper to Baerga covering. And they almost got him. This is a very close play, but he's in there.
You're right.
He got there.
Look how strong and accurate that throw was from the track, and without any hesitation. He has to get his bearings after making the catch.
A lot of people talk about Lofton's speed, but he has one of the better throwing arms in the American League. As you look at the tag one more time, Jones in there, and the tag late by Baerga. Close play at second.
a good slide by Jones away from the tag on the infield rather than outfield side of second base.
Well, he had to play in front of him, Bob. He saw the throw coming from Lofton. And as the runner, you can do anything you want. The second baseman doesn't know where you're going. All he can do is wait to grab the ball and then try to slap a tag on you.
I just don't think he felt that Lofton would be able to make that good a throw running away from the infield as he was.
The infield is back. On a ground ball, they'll concede the tying run. That or a fly ball could tie this game. A base hit could give them the lead. Baerga boots it. Does he recover in time? No, safe. The game tied, and runners at the corners. Still only one out. The Indians, who appeared to have this game in hand, leading at one time 4-1. Then after the Braves crept back to within 4-3, they got an insurance run. But it's evaporated here in the 8th.
Well, this ball is booted by Baerga. I don't know how they're going to score it, but he should have come up with that ball. He got a good hop. He just did not make the play, and a hustling Dave Justice beats the play at first base. Now watch this ball. He has plenty of time to get over there. He does get there. Now watch, he's there right in front of it. He just misses it. And again, he recovers quickly, but you have to give Justice credit because he was hustling down the line, and he beats the throw at first.
They've scored it, an error, and here is Hargrove again. As the Braves have tied this game. Remember back a couple of innings ago, Joe, when it was 4-1?
Right.
And we talked about it not being enough, maybe not being enough. Well, back to even, and still only one out, and the lead run now at third. And another change for the Indians.
Hargrove waited for Devereaux to be announced as a pinch hitter for Klesko, then goes to the bullpen. Assenmacher out, and the right-hander Tavares coming in to pitch to Devereaux. So even though Klesko had homered his last time up, as long as the left-hander Assenmacher was in there, Cox was going to go to his bench and send up Devereaux. And in turn, Hargrove makes his counter move. But a move he didn't make may haunt him. To take Nagy out at the start of this inning, which is what just about everybody expected. Instead, he leaves him in for 2 hitters. The first pitch of the inning was a fat fastball that Grissom doubled on. Then after he fell behind Polonia 2-0, Hargrove went out to talk to him. Nagy appeared to assure him that he still felt as if he had something left and could get Polonia. Polonia grounded a sharp single by the diving Sorrento at first base. That made it 5-4, and at that point, Hargrove went to the bullpen for Assenmacher. Assenmacher got ahead of Chipper Jones 0-2, but then lost him on a walk. McGriff belted one to deep center field. Lofton made the catch on the warning track. Both runners tagged. And the runner at first, Jones, got away with it. Polonia advanced to third easily. It was a close play at second. Jones was able to slide in safely, and now that becomes very important because as Justice grounded to the right side, Polonia would have scored in any case, but on the error by Baerga, Chipper Jones now finds himself at third base rather than at second, assuming that the sequence played itself out and the pitching pattern would have been the same way. So he's in position now to score the go-ahead run on an out.
On a fly ball now. Base hit, fly ball, air, pass ball, wild pitch, whatever. The Braves are in great shape here in the 8th inning.
Jacobs Field much quieter now all of a sudden as we look down on it from the Goodyear Blimp Spirit of Akron, piloted by Captain Patrick Henry. As we mentioned at the beginning of the telecast, no team has ever fallen behind 0-3 in a best-of-7 series of any kind, League Championship Series or World Series, and come back to win it. Lots of teams have been down 0-2 and recovered to win, or at least to take it to 7 games and make it interesting.
Things were going so nicely here tonight, Bob. They get the lead. Braves get 1 in the opening inning. Indians come right back with 2 to get the crowd into the game. Everybody's screaming and hollering. Come up with 2 more in the 3rd to take a 4-1 lead, and things are really looking good. You get Nagy cruising through the 4th, 5th. They get 1 in the 6th, and you figure, hey, now it's time to go to the guys in the pen. Brought him out for the 7th, and as I said here in the 8th, day late again.
What a spot for a rookie. Although Taveras has seen so much work, he's about as seasoned as a rookie can be. 10 relief wins, led the majors. And a ball outside. The infield looks for the double play.
Well, Devereaux was the MVP of the divisional series because he came through in clutch situations time after time for the Atlanta Braves in this similar type of situation against the Reds.
The 1-0 pitch is hammered into left center field. It gets down for a base hit. The Braves have taken the lead. In comes Chipper Jones. Justice stops at second.
And Devereaux does it again. And he was a great pickup by the Braves in the middle of the season. They needed another bat, and they brought in Devereaux, and he has done a great job for them.
That pitch was upstairs on Devereaux from Taveras, and he rips it in the left center. There it is again. Breaking ball. Yep.
Lopez now grounds one to the right side. Baerga will try to turn two. Vizquel up in the air brilliantly on the pivot. But not before 3 runs come home in the 8th. And suddenly it's 6-5 Atlanta.
Satchel Paige once said, "Age is a question of mind over matter."
Want to have a little game?
Yeah. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. This is the fabric of our lives. This is cotton.
The most affordable Lexus now comes with a moonroof.
Vizquel, who has just played eye-popping ball at short throughout the postseason, completes the double play. But earlier, he'd given up the hit to Devereaux. And as we come back live, we don't get to see Taveras' reaction. Maybe we can get back to it. Watch what he does. Hung that breaking ball to Devereaux, who delivered the RBI single off him to give the Braves the lead. For the first time since the first inning, Thome on the 0-1 pitch hops to the right side, and Lemke tucks it away.
Julian Taveras with a hanging breaking ball, and Devereaux ripped it to left center. And the Indians find themselves behind 6-5 here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Greg McMichael out there in the 8th. But if they maintain the lead, it'll be Wohlers to try to bring the hammer down in the 9th. Mike Hargrove has done a brilliant job managing the Indians this year. They were 144. And a big part of managing isn't just in-game strategy. It's the atmosphere that you maintain on a ball club. He has been great in that regard. But if the Indians go down in this series, part of the storyline will be the managing decisions Hargrove made. And in the 3 most important instances, it will be what he didn't do rather than what he did do. He didn't pitch out with Belliard at the plate in the 7th in Game 1. He didn't walk Javi Lopez in the 6th inning of Game 2. And he homered off Martinez, who appeared to be weakening. And he didn't take Nagy out to start the 8th when he had turned in 7 good innings. And by the time Nagy was taken out, the tying runs were already aboard, and a nightmare inning had begun. An inning that didn't end until the 2 men Nagy had put on had scored, plus another guy who reached against this fella, Asenmacher, who now stands to be the loser. 3 runs in, and it's 6-5 Atlanta. A 2-2 pitch coming from McMichael to Ramirez. Fouled off.
Bob, when you are trailing in a series, whether it be a divisional series or a World Series, and your team is down, you always have to take the pitcher out 2 pitches or so earlier than 2 pitches late. You should always take the guy out too soon rather than too late.
Another 2-2 pitch. Full count. If they don't get back into this series, I know we would all hate to see Mike Hargrove receive some of the criticism he will inevitably receive, because the public can be tough, the press can be tough. This is a class guy, but his moves have not worked for him here. A walk to Ramirez.
You know, it's not a second guess by any means, Bob, because it's something that he told us before the game, that if he gets 6 good innings out of Nagy, maybe 7, but 6 good ones, to go to the bullpen. And it didn't happen that way tonight. I mean, again, after the barn door was open, it was too late.
The tying run now is at first in the person of Ramirez. Sorrento, who has struck out all 3 times, comes up and takes one on the corner for a strike. He spread it around too. Struck out against Smoltz, Klontz, and Merker. Let's see what McMichael can do against him. Well, he's ahead of him 0-2. Mesa gets up with his team trailing by a run. A ball and 2 strikes to Sorrento, who hit just .235 for the year, but had 25 home runs.
This is a situation where Bobby Cox knows that if he can win this ball game, he can almost clinch the series. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wouldn't bring Wohlers in here in the 8th inning if he has to.
Hit hard, base hit. Ramirez to second, around second, stumbles a little bit as he heads for third. Justice's throw is cut off. And the Indians bounce back in the bottom of the 8th.
Good hitting by Sorrento to take advantage of that hole created by McGriff holding the runner on. See that big hole on the right side? If McGriff is back, he makes a play on this ball, but you can see holding the runner, he had no chance. Good hitting there by Sorrento, taking advantage of that hole on the right side.
There you see Ramirez coming around second. Jeff Newman telling him to get down at third, but the throw never came on. Well, you talk about walks hurting in games. In the 8th inning, top half, a walk cost the Indians a run, and here in the 8th, bottom half, walk to Ramirez could cost the Braves a run. Get this game back to even.
Cox isn't going to wait.
Now this is as I suspected. He would bring Wohlers in to try to finish this game off. Right now he needs a strikeout or a double play, and he does not really have many people in that bullpen who can get you the ground ball. Pena, who was up throwing as well, would not be able to get you the ground ball. He is basically a strikeout fly ball pitcher as well.
Exit McMichael, enter Wohlers, and we'll be back.
Every dream begins with a single step. The determination to go beyond your best.
Vizquel has a triple, a bunt single, and he flied out and grounded out.
If you're thinking about a squeeze, it's kind of tough to squeeze with a guy like Wohlers, who's throwing close to 100 miles an hour.
Strike 1 to him. Vizquel led the Indians and was among the league leaders in sacrifice flies with 10. A fly ball is all they need to reclaim the lead. That'll make the seats. Each of the last 2 pitches were clocked at 97. The first 2 games of this series, 1-run Atlanta victories. The last 7 World Series defeats Bobby Cox has suffered have all been by 1 run. The If he hasn't had a nervous breakdown by now, he never will. The 0-2. He's gone. Needing a strikeout. That's what Waller's got. And on 3 pitches.
And you have to give Javier Lopez a lot of credit there. He called for the fastball away. Waller's wanted to throw a breaking ball in the dirt, and he catches it. Look at this. I mean, this is the game's on the line here. He blocks it, comes up with it. And you have to remember, very difficult to call a breaking ball in this situation when you have a guy throwing 90 miles an hour out there, but they get the job done.
And Lopez, as you said, Joe, not only down to block it, but caught it. Got his body in front just in case. And a big strikeout on a check swing.
Vizquel couldn't come through. Now Baerga. With the bases juiced, but 2 down. He has 3 RBIs in a 2-for-4 night. Tied at 6. Hit sharply, Lemke. They'll tie it, but leave him loaded. To the 9th at Jacobs Field, Game 3, all even.
It's been said that everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. For some, that's just their daily commute. The Lexus Coupe.
Ready, Big Daddy Evander Holyfield. Let's get ready to rumble!
The fists will fly at Caesar's Palace when these 2 warriors clash a 3rd and deciding time. Don't miss Bo Holyfield 3. It'll be the hottest heavyweight bout of the year. Brought to you by Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers.
Major League Baseball Home Video presents the Ultimate Series Souvenir, the official 1995 World Series video. All the drama of the 1995 World Series, plus exclusive interviews are showcased in this remarkable video. To order the 95 World Series video for $19.95 plus $4.95 shipping, use your credit card and call 1-800-787-6227. 1-800-787-6227.
Friday, a family camping trip becomes a young mother's nightmare.
I just couldn't do anything.
A real-life River Wild on Unsolved Mysteries, all new NBC Friday.
Your time is important. That's why at 11 o'clock, we bring you tonight's news and tomorrow's weather, all without interruption, in the first 11 minutes. 11 News at 11. News at the speed of life.
Win or lose tonight, find out how Atlanta fans could come out ahead. I'm Angela Robinson. Also, called to sell out on a turncoat, former Braves mascot Chief Nakahoma talks tough about the World Series controversy. Don't miss 11 News after the game.
Tonight Show, Dom Herrera, all new tonight.
A bit of business here as we start the 9th. It'll be the MCI proof positive replay of the game. Alomar's double. The fair call from the first base umpire, John Hirschbeck of the American League. What's Jim McKean signaling in right field, pointing the other way?
Well, I think he's pointing at the ball's in play, and it's safe. He's saying the ball is in play. And if, you know, when the ball hits the stands, he's saying it's in play. If it goes underneath or something, you call it out of play, or if a fan touches it.
And he was looking right at Hirschbeck when Hirschbeck made the fair call. The ball went over the bag or inside the bag and then hit the line anyway.
Herbert Perry, as expected, is the new first baseman. And Mesa comes out of the pen. With the game tied, Lemke fouls the first pitch back. Mike Mordecai, who replaced Belliard a while back at shortstop, will get his first at-bat. He's in the 9th spot in the order and in the on-deck circle now.
Mesa does not throw as hard as Wohlers, but he also has another pitch. He has a great split-fingered fastball that is his out pitch on occasion.
That one hits 93. His first pitch of the sequence was 95.
Yeah, every once in a while he'll get into that high 90 range, Joe, 97, 98. But again, as you said, he's got a very good splitter. See that last pitch fouled off by Lemke.
The 1-2 misses. Mesa's ERA for the year was 1.13, saved 46 of a possible 48. Lemke hanging in.
We saw his save string broken here, Bob, in a game against the Tigers on a Chad Curtis home run in the 9th inning. Indians went on to win that game in extra innings.
Lemke hits this one hard to deep right, and Ramirez will have to play it off the wall, and Lemke is going to be held to a single. Well, if you can get around on a ball thrown that hard, and with the wind blowing out, it's going to carry even for a little guy like Lemke. And it got out there so fast, and Ramirez played it so well in this instance off the wall that he holds him to a long single.
Here's again a high fastball from Mesa. And Lemke almost hits one out of here, and a good play by Ramirez. The ball was hit well. He knew it was going to get over his head, so he turned around quickly, plays the hop off the wall, and holds Lemke to a long single. We talked earlier about Ramirez and his ability to throw. He's got a great arm, little off target, but he holds Lemke to a long single.
That's a big play because with the runner at second, you bunt him to third easily. Now you have to bunt him into scoring position.
Mordecai bunts foul. Mordecai had fewer than 100 plate appearances this year. Sacrificed successfully twice. Hit 280 at the big league level. The rookie squares. Mesa brings it home. He pulls back. Ball one. In the bottom of the ninth for Cleveland, Bell, Murray, and Thome, the scheduled hitters. Not trying to disguise his intentions, but with that fastball bearing in on you, very tough to get the bunt down. Now do you keep it on with 2 strikes?
I think you got to keep it on. I'd take another shot at it. But I mean, with Mordecai here, you're not going to bunt the ball the way he had the bat in this position. He got the bat. Look where the bat is behind him.
Well, and also it's a high fastball. That's the toughest pitch to bunt right there. 90+ mile an hour fastball up.
He squares.
Smart move there by Mesa to find out if he was still bunting. He just steps off. That's all he was doing. He wasn't going to throw the first base. He just wanted to see if Mordecai was still bunting, so he can throw him another high fastball.
He gets the bunt down. Perry, Baerga covering. So a good job by Mordecai with 2 strikes.
Very good job, because Mesa knew he was bunting and he was trying to throw another high fastball, which he did. But Mordecai does a better job this time of getting the bat out in front. Now see, he squares around to watch the head of the bats out front this time, whereas before it was behind him. Right there, nice bunt. Good play. And now the go-ahead runs in scoring position.
Here's Grissom, a postseason terror, who is 2 for 4 tonight. Base hits each of his last 2 times at bat, a single and a double. The double started the 3-run 8th. Called strike. Tavares can do his route now. He's finished. It's up to Mesa.
It's great when you can watch two guys late in the game, Joe, like Wohlers and this guy. I mean, just bring heat one after another. Every once in a while a breaking ball, but really challenge you. I mean, here's a situation. I mean, it's one-on-one here. Grissom 0-2 in the count, and this guy throwing nothing but high heat.
Clock that one at 96, and Grissom lays off. Even when you know it's coming, just try to hit it.
Well, I think he really pitched Grissom well there. Grissom was sitting on the fork ball, and he just threw the fastball right by him.
So he didn't know it was coming.
Well, no, I'm not on that particular pitch. I'm talking about the first two pitches. I think he probably did know it was coming in, but the first two pitches are two I'm talking about.
Big strikeout. Julian Tavares happy.
Polonia. And a called strike. Tavares' sleep tonight depends upon whether the Indians can come back and win this game. Otherwise, he'll be tossing and turning, thinking about the Devereaux hit. 0-2.
I love this. I really do. I love this situation. I mean, on the line, late in the game. Again, Wohlers and this guy, Mesa, who throws so very hard. And you know what you're going to get more often than not. Every once in a while, a breaking ball. But, man, when they go to the high heat, one-on-one, it's beautiful.
Tell you what, Mesa's just rearing back, letting it go.
I love it.
Does adrenaline put an extra mile per hour or two on that fastball?
Well, I think it has right now. I think that's what it's doing. I think it has added a couple of miles per hour to his fastball.
Lemke away from second. The 0-2 misses.
I told you, he can get it up there.
And maybe he's accepting the challenge from Wohlers. I mean, Wohlers came out and had blown some of his teammates away in Atlanta, and also tonight he says, hey, I can do the same thing.
Well, he threw him the split finger there.
That's not fair. That is not fair. You throw a guy that many fastballs above 95 miles an hour, and then you throw him. Actually, that looks like a curveball. That is a curveball.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, that was a curveball.
Curveball or a slider that really slid.
Yeah, that was a curveball there.
Now it's 2-2. And now it's full.
You know, and here's a situation, Joe, where, I mean, even with Mesa throwing the way he is, I mean, you sit in this spot, look fastball here, 3-2, and I mean, really try to turn on one.
Well, you have to sit on the fastball. You cannot look for anything else when a guy's throwing this hard. Look for the fastball and try to adjust to something else.
Fastball spoiled. Chipper Jones is on deck. Six runs, 10 hits, and an error for Atlanta. 6-10-2 for the Indians. Fastball, and again it's fouled off. This is an exciting game from the Atlanta dugout. It's a gut-wrenching game in this dugout. Atlanta's got the 2-0 lead. This series is as good as over if the Indians don't win tonight. He lost it. He was ahead of him 0-2. Polonia battled him and earned that walk.
Third baseman number 10, Chipper Jones.
This 1995 World Series game is brought to you by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. Network MCI, how to get modern communications technology working for your business. And Sun America, the retirement savings specialists. Chipper Jones 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. 2 on, 2 out of the ninth. Ball 1 from Mesa. To the possible National League Rookie of the Year. If Hideo Nomo, the Dodger pitcher, doesn't get it, Jones will. Lemke away from second. Polonia at first. Off speed and in there. 1-2.
Tell you what, Mesa has thrown a couple of curveballs this inning. That was a curveball there because it had a hump in it. His split-fingered fastball doesn't have a hump in it.
In the air, down the left field line, and foul. If it were possible to sweat on a night like this, the Braves would be making Mesa sweat in this ninth inning. Even if he gets out of it, they've made him work. High 2-2.
Again, he's been in this situation so many times, Bob, and again, I'm not talking about a World Series situation, but how many times throughout this year has this guy come into games in the ninth, maybe in the eighth once in a while, and pitched in this kind of a situation? But of course, here it's the World Series, game 3 on the line.
A little piece of it. What a great shot our director Andy Rosenberg had a moment ago of the eyes of Chipper Jones, that look of determination. John Gonzalez, our producer tonight, the truck with Andy. Alomar very briefly to the mound. Just a word or two with Mesa. Again. It's almost midnight, but in a sense it's high noon. And Jones steps out.
I don't know if Mesa and Alomar feel like Lemke's trying to steal the signs at second base or what. But I think that's what the first brief conversation was about. And now Hargrove comes out.
That's Mark Wiley, I believe, Joe.
Oh, that's Mark. I
think it is.
Yeah, I can't see it.
And you know, again, here, I mean, to make sure you're in sync with Mesa talking about he and Alomar, if they are going to go to a different set of signs or maybe a different location or even pitch selection for that matter, with Jones up there, who hit the double back in the opening inning and scored. And I mean, as you said earlier, I mean, to look for anything else but fastballs off of this guy. I mean, now you're kind of on your own at 2-2, but you got to look heat from him. And he has shown a good curveball here.
Again on 2-2. Hit hard, and Perry scoops it up, preserving the tie. Perry just in. And what a play he made, and what a time to make it.
Well, they definitely changed signs because he didn't really give him a sign. He gave him a location. So they changed signs. They thought they were picking up the signs from second base. This is a line drive. Luckily, it's a big hop there, but he scoops it. Just a nice play there by Perry, and he did it so smoothly.
Sorrento can't make that play. He's not as good a defensive player, and with the glove on the other hand, he'd have to backhand it. Perry in just in time. We'll be back.
Sunday on the NFL on NBC, Mike Ditka tells of his endearing relationship with former quarterback Jim Harbaugh. Then Mike gives you the ultimate insight. Buddy Ryan, man or myth, Sunday at 12:30 Eastern.
You're not really going to do this. You just watch Sunday.
Mike Ditka lets loose Sunday on the NFL on NBC.
3 seconds left. Here's Van Exel. He got it! He got it! Smith with the catch.
Fastball inside, but Chipper Jones turns on it, and he gets enough of it. He didn't hammer it, but he gets enough of it that this could win the ball game had it gone through. And just an excellent play here by Perry. Watch this. This ball is dipping and diving away from him, and he scoops it and just makes it like a routine play. Nice play there by Perry.
And let me apologize for my mistake. Sorrento bats left-handed, Perry right-handed, but they both throw right-handed. So Sorrento would have had
But you said it
the
right.
same
He
play to make, but he is not as good a fielder,
right.
so
no,
he's less likely to make the play.
You're right. Perry's a very good defensive play, and he made the play.
The ball really didn't sound that good off the bat of Jones, Joe, but still a heck of a play by Perry.
Right.
To the bottom of the ninth, and here comes Bell. Grounded out, had an RBI single, reached on an error, and walked. 1 for 3. It's Wohlers and Mesa bringing heat on a cold night. Out of play on the first pitch. Late inning heroics were a constant for the Indians this year. The 0-1 to Bell. A ball and a strike. Murray next, then Thome.
Now we don't have to tell you what Albert Bell did throughout the season with 50 home runs. A guy that is a great mistake hitter. I mean, you throw stuff upstairs on this guy, and out over the plate, inside to the middle portion, he loves to hit it.
On 1-1. Pop back. A ball and 2 strikes.
On this fastball, he is just late. This pitch is up. You see it's going up even more. And when you get a fastball up around 97 miles an hour and you get it up around the letters, it's just hard to make contact with it. He was running late on it. And in fact, that was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
There's an 85-mile-an-hour breaking ball. That's an average fastball in the big leagues. 85 to 86.
I'm not so sure why they even call that pitch, because you could see he was holding on to it to make sure he didn't hang it. You know, he doesn't want to hang a breaking ball. He'd rather throw him a fastball and challenge him. That was just to show him a different pitch.
On 2-2. It runs out full.
That one wasn't to show him a different pitch.
No,
there's no way. That was to get him out, right?
Exactly, but no way is he going to hang that breaking ball over the plate. So he's going to hold on to it a little longer, and you will make more mistakes trying to do that. Making sure that you don't hang it, you're going to make mistakes with it.
Mordecai has time and has Bell at first base. So Albert grounds out on the 3-2 pitch. Well, all you lip readers are well aware of Albert's sentiments now. I wish I could have gotten a hit, says Albert. Murray. If they don't score, Mesa comes back out for the 10th. You would have to think, although that has not been the pattern for Mike Hargrove, even in the Division Series and League Championship Series. In the air to left center field. Polonia calls. 2 out.
Now in this situation, Bob, with the fact that Mesa hasn't worked all that much, I mean another inning or 2 even, another inning anyway, not going to hurt him. I mean he's throwing good. Both these guys really throwing hard. Wohlers and Mesa. Not going to bother him at all. There you see him.
Thome 0 for 3 with a walk. Broken bat, slow roller. Mordecai has to charge, throws on the run and gets him. And we are going to the 10th inning at Jacobs Field.
Throw to first base. He short hops it, but he gets enough on it so that Perry can pick it out, and he barely nipped Lopez at first base. I mean, this is a nice scoop by Perry. He's shown us that he can pick it over there. Nice play.
Well, no matter what hand he has the glove on, he's been important defensively at first base.
You're right.
And a good call by John Hirschbeck. Right on it.
I'm going to have to buy Sorrento a left-handed first baseman's glove just to cover myself. Bottom of the 10th. Wohlers back to work against Ramirez. Steve Hurd of the Elias Sports Bureau tells us that once in the playoffs and twice in the regular season, Wohlers worked as many as 2 innings, never more. He's gone an inning and 2/3 here. Our thanks to Jeff Sleet in the booth and all season long. The editorial input of Steve Horn appreciated as well. 0-1. Up high.
Both of these managers are getting dangerously close to blowing their stoppers for a couple of ball games. I don't think the Indians have a choice. I think they have to win this ball game, we said. But Bobby Cox also has the luxury of having someone in the bullpen that he figures he can win with, and that's Pena, where I don't think that the Indians have someone to replace Mesa. But they have to win this ball game.
Well, they've got Eric Plunk out there as you look at Wohlers with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Plunk, as you know, Joe, another hard thrower and a guy who has normally been used as a setup man for Mesa.
I think this has to be the last inning probably for Wohlers if he can get through this inning. I'm wondering how long they would go with Mesa.
bases, 3-1. Well, he hasn't lost any velocity.
No, and in these last couple of innings, I mean, hitters have been sitting on pitches ahead in the count from both Wohlers and Mesa, and are being challenged constantly by fastballs and fouling them back, as did Bell in his AB, his last AB.
Perry next, and then Alomar. And a leadoff walk. It's the third time Ramirez has walked tonight.
First baseman, number 36, Herbert Perry.
That brings up Herbert Perry. A June call-up from the Buffalo farm. He hit .315, but uked most of that against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, that's true. He was flip-flop with Sorrento, who plays against the right-handers, and Perry against the left-handers. But a kid that the Indians are looking a lot from, or a lot for, I should say, in the future. This kid's got a good future. He's strong. He looks like he's a big home run hitter. He hasn't shown a lot of power here yet with the Indians, but as we've seen tonight, he's decent around the bag.
See if they keep the bunt on. Obviously they do. He pulls back and takes a ball. He's been called upon to bunt occasionally. He has 3 successful sacrifices this year. Jeff Newman, the coach at third. Dave Nelson, former Indian player, is their coach at first.
Now, as Joe indicated early, in a situation where you're going to bunt, I mean, you got to show it. Everybody in the ballpark knows if you're going to sacrifice, you might as well give yourself up early and make sure.
Bunts it foul, and now it's 1-2. Well, Mordecai of Atlanta was able to get a 2-strike bunt down in a sacrifice situation earlier. Let's see what Hargrove's thinking here.
I still think you got to move him. I really do. I mean, it's do or die for the Indians. I know they're down 2-0, and it could be 3, but they need this win as we've said all night long. I mean, this is such a big ball game for the Indians. Got to move him.
Jones still in close at third. Now he backs up as the pitch comes, as Perry did not show bunt. 2-2.
Chipper Jones, the third baseman, now taking a couple of steps back as Perry took that breaking ball off the outside corner.
It's a good hit and run count if they want to try it.
That's what I'm talking about. Some way to move somebody here, and they both talked about it, talking about Cox and Hargrove. Talking about moving runners and trying to generate and get something going.
To Perry. Still 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 10th. Tavares, who relieved earlier, seated alongside Mason, who may or may not pitch the 11th if there is an 11th. Buddy Bell with Hargrove. Bell rumored to be in line for any number of managerial positions, a sought-after commodity these days. Another 2-2 pitch. High and a full count. Do you send Ramirez with nobody out?
Well, if I was the man, he'd already be out, because I would already send him.
Yeah, I'm gone too. Yeah, you're right. I'm surprised he didn't try to run him.
I would have sent him earlier too.
And again, despite the fact that Lopez can throw, I mean, you got to try to get something going. You got to try to move somebody.
Not going. Struck him out.
That's okay. I still think that it's worth the risk. in that situation. You have to. They still have to throw him out.
But with Lopez's arm, a likely strikeout throwout. Ramirez stole 6 and was caught 6 times this year.
Yeah, but remember one thing: Wohlers does not hold you on very well. Plus, he has a big, slow leg kick to the plate. You're going to steal it off the pitcher. You're not going to steal it off of the catcher.
Guy that doesn't see that much right-handed pitching. Talking about Perry.
Alomar, who had the huge double his last time up, takes a strike.
Boy, this guy is still throwing the ball good, too. Along with Mason. Alomar looking for a possible sign from Newman, who hasn't looked at him yet.
Alomar's double was off Wohlers. Plays off 1-1.
The double he hit was a ball that was down. And when you're facing these hard throws, again, if you get a ball down, you can handle it. Because there's not quite as much velocity on the low fastball as there is on their high fastballs. The high fastball is still the toughest pitch in baseball to hit if it has some hair on it.
Ramirez walked to start the inning. Perry then fans swinging on a 3-2 pitch. 1 on, 1 out. 1-1 the count. Alomar at the plate against Wohlers in the bottom of the 10th of a 6-6 game.
See Davey Nelson constantly talking to Ramirez at first base. He doesn't want him to lose his concentration over there, possibly get picked off again.
I still think, though, Joe, you got to try to move somebody here. I mean, even with Alomar, Alomar can hit behind the runner.
Low throw on the pickoff, but McGriff got his body in front of it so it doesn't roll too far away.
Well, whatever Lopez called that time, Wohlers threw to first.
Well, that's why I was trying to tell you that Wohlers does not hold runners well, because he doesn't throw hard to first base. He just throws over there to let you know that he realizes you're there. But he doesn't really try to pick you off.
Lofton, who hasn't been retired all night, is on deck. He's going, and the pitch is fouled off. Just think of the potential swing after the outcome of this game. If the Indians lose it, they're down 0-3. They've blown a 4-1 lead at home, a game they appeared to have in hand, and a sweep looks to be imminent. If they win it, by definition, they have to win it in dramatic fashion. In their last at-bat, the place goes crazy. They come back out here tomorrow, down only 2-1, and riding a wave.
And this place was all charged up tonight. The city was charged up. I mean, all you hear around here is talk of the Indians and their ability to come from behind. They've done it so many times this year.
He's going again. And here comes the throw as the pitch is a ball. It's high, and Ramirez is in there with a steal.
As we said earlier, here's a breaking ball handled nicely by Lopez. We talked about his ability to throw. And I mean, every time you're not going to throw one on the bag. His throw high that time, and it's a steal by Ramirez.
The count now 2-2 to Alomar. Lemke handles this one as Ramirez moves to third. I sincerely doubt that they'll mess with Lofton here, Joe.
Well, it gives them an opportunity to walk Kenny Lofton. And, I mean, you'd rather have Vizquel beat you than Lofton.
Center fielder, number 7, Kenny Lofton.
Wohlers in the midst of his longest outing of the year. Pena is the right-hander. Borbon, a left-hander, not throwing at the moment, but standing on the other side. He, the son of a guy you played with in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, another good bullpen, another good reliever, Pedro Sr.
Senior was a right-hander. This young Braves pitcher, a lefty, and as expected, it'll be up to Vizquel, as Lofton will receive his 3rd consecutive walk, the last 2 intentional. Prior to that, he had 2 singles and a double. In the 9th, they walked Lofton intentionally, following the double by Alomar. Nagy and Assenmacher.
I like the signs that Bobby Cox just went through. He basically told him, hey, don't worry about it. Get behind him. Don't even stand up there with Lofton. When he goes, do not throw.
Vizquel struck out following the intentional walk to Lofton in the 9th. A huge strikeout for Wohlers in that situation. Then he got Baerga to ground out to end the inning. Did I say the 9th? I meant the 8th. In the 8th. Now we're in the 10th. Lofton goes. They don't contest it. It's hit up the middle. Lemke gets Vizquel at first. 2 men are left. On to the 11th.
Yep. It is where the lofty...
Still in the skies. Captain Patrick Henry with the game in extra innings. Not yet at liberty. And it may be the death of him if this continues.
I've had enough.
With me or the game?
With you.
Mesa for his 3rd inning. This is uncharted territory for Jose Mesa this year.
But you know, he's still throwing well, as is Wohlers. I mean, they're still throwing in the high 90s. And another inning's not going to bother him all that much.
Embry in the bullpen. Two and one to Lemke. Mordecai on deck. Line drive into left center field. A leadoff hit for Lemke. Bell over to cut it off and get it back in.
Nice play there by Bell. He cut that ball off and got it back quickly to the infield. Held Lemke to a single.
A shortstop, number 16, Mike Mordecai.
Bell got a good jump on this ball. Now watch, look, he goes a long way for this ball. And he gets there, he times it perfectly so he can whirl and fire, and he got rid of it, made an accurate throw to second base right there and held Lemke to a single.
Now Mordecai, who got a bunt down with 2 strikes for a sacrifice his last time up. Called strike. Squares around again and takes a ball. Grissom, the number 1 hitter, is on deck. Lemke has looked back.
Well, you see Mesa, he's checking again to see if, make sure Mordecai was bunting. He was making sure they didn't change the sign and maybe put a hit and run on it.
Jim Thome at third, still looking for the bunt. from Mordecai, and again signs from Jimmy Williams at third.
There goes the runner. He's swinging away down the right field line. Ramirez in pursuit. Ramirez into foul ground. Doesn't have it.
Here it is again. Ramirez chasing into foul territory and right up against the wall in right, and can't come up with it. Another angle on a slicing fly ball off the bat of Mordecai.
That's an out in Atlanta.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Room down there, right?
Isn't that the truth, Joe? All that foul territory.
So they took the bunt off and went with the hit and run. Not going this time. They put the bunt back on, and he strikes out.
Well, it squares around, the pitch is down, and he just misses it. That's a tough pitch to bunt. So he does square around in plenty of times. It's just a tough pitch. That's a tough pitch. Good sinking fastball from Mesa, down low.
Grissom has a pair of hits tonight. Different hitter in the postseason, and actually down the stretch in September than he was during the regular year when he hit just .258.
And again, the situation here, Joe, with a runner aboard, and what Bobby Cox told us earlier tonight about the fact that he wants to run and move. I mean, try to create something.
Bouncing ball by Ergen. Vizquel 1. Perry 2. They had to be quick with Grissom coming out of the box. And now they give themselves another chance to win.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
How would your dentist recommend you clean your teeth? The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover has been clinically proven to clean teeth better than a manual toothbrush. Its unique cup-shaped brush head removes plaque from deep between teeth and even below the gum line. Leaving your teeth so clean, you can feel it. And now kids can start brushing better too, with a model designed just for them. The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover cleans better than a manual toothbrush.
There are no medals for being the shoulder to cry on. No awards for passing on traditions. But to the men who give their best every day, we give our best. Gillette Sensor XL. Spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face, and soft, flexible microfins that set up your beard, and Gillette Series shaving gel for incredible smoothness. Sensor XL for the closest, most comfortable shave ever. Gillette, the best a man can get.
You're my agent. You have to do something about this. My face is on the cup with a duck. Well, I'm allergic to ducks. But what about Bugs Bunny? He's cool. What? Emmitt Smith has bugs? He's just a running back.
Now at McDonald's, get a free Looney Plays to-go cup when you supersize any extra value meal. The NFL's Emmitt Smith with Bugs, Barry Sanders with Taz, Bledsoe with Wiley, and Marino with Daffy on new to-go cups.
How'd I get on a McDonald's cup with Marino? Some agent. I'm allergic to dolphins.
Have you had your break today?
Friday, it's arresting television with unsolved mysteries. A young mother's holiday turns tragic.
I just couldn't do anything.
A whitewater chase on a real-life river wild. Plus, a young family is murdered. 20 co-workers nearby and video cameras. Yet no one saw a thing. How could it happen? Amazing Unsolved Mysteries, NBC Friday.
When you get in the late innings, every double play becomes crucial, and this is a very good turn by Baerga over to Vizquel, and his relay back to first base just in time to get the speedy Grissom going down to first base. Well, they were complaining, but he was out. You'll see here the throw does beat him right there. He's out by half a step. And you see the infielders, they know that this is tough. When you make these kind of double plays under pressure, give your team a chance to win. It's always important.
Baerga made an error on the Justice ground ball in the middle of the 3-run 8th inning for the Braves. But apart from that, and it was a big play, not trying to minimize it at all, but apart from that, he's turned in a good night in the field.
Very good night. He saved a run up the middle on Lopez, and that double play started there. It was just an excellent play there by Vizquel and Baerga.
Wohlers has gone far enough. Alejandro Pena, who was in this situation a number of times in World Series play earlier in this decade for the Braves, has the game in his hands again now. Inside to Baerga. Pena never could have thought his season would end with him in the World Series, with a game on the line, no less. In spring training, trying to hook on, Cleveland was one of the clubs he asked to take a look at him. They had him throw for less than 15 minutes and said, not interested. Baerga lifts one to the left side. Chipper Jones over, Mordecai over. It's in the seats. Then he was with Boston briefly. Then to the Marlins. A late August pickup to bolster the bullpen. Played an important role for them. And now, since Wohlers has thrown enough pitches and Cox has to get him out of there, he comes in with the game on the line. One and two.
And another guy with still a pretty good fastball, Joe. I mean, Wohlers has gone in the high 90s in that 100-mile-per-hour area, but this guy is in the 90s, 90 to 93, 94 miles per hour.
And he has real good movement on his fastball.
It's the kind of count where he often goes forkball. Fouled off again, and it holds at 1-2. Pena with Dodger clubs that went to the playoffs in '85, the World Series in '88. With two Atlanta pennant winners, 91 and 92. And another foul off Baerga's bat.
So far in this at bat, he stayed with the fastball because so far Baerga has not been able to get around on it. He knows he can't hurt him if he slaps the ball the other way.
And that's the way they play him, too. They're way around toward left for Baerga. There's a little something off speed, Joe, after a couple of good fastballs upstairs. There you see this, the Braves outfield way around towards left. Maloney only about 40 feet to 30 feet off the line, 30 to 40 feet off the line and left. Big gap in right center, and the right field line wide open.
Is it ever easy, thinks Bobby Cox. The 2-2. Full count.
Don't think this guy can't turn on you in a hurry, too. Talking about Baerga. 15 regular season home runs.
He's hit over 20 the last few years, and if it wouldn't have been a shortened season, he probably would have reached that number again.
And the count holds full. Pena on the mound for Cox and the Braves in the bottom of the 10th at the Metrodome in Game 7 in 1991. A bloop double by Dan Gladden. started the inning, and eventually he gave up the run that lost the game in the series. Baerga smacks one into right center field. This is going to split the outfielders and go to the wall. It's at least a double. Baerga doesn't run that well, and he's content to stop at second base. Baerga will leave for a pinch runner. Alvaro Espinosa will run for him, and if the game is prolonged, then Espinosa will play second.
Here's that last pitch by Pena, a low fastball. Baerga fouled off a couple of high fastballs. And again, this guy throwing in the 90s, a low fastball. As you see the free ride here to Bell, but a low fastball, he rips it for a double.
So they'll set up the double play and face Murray. And the chant of Eddie, Eddie, as the third ball is almost thrown a bit too far outside. And Lopez had to stab it. More than just a bit outside.
Yes, sir. Yep, you bet. Talk about, the intentional walk. Why don't they just tell the guy to go to first base? It's because of situations like that. I've seen it happen a couple of times where a pitcher gags on a fastball, or I should say a pitch that he's trying to walk somebody intentionally on. And a lot of guys don't like to throw a pitch up there that's a changeup. They want to throw the ball hard because they don't want to pull back on it. As you see Lopez make a backhanded stab on that offering by Pena. I know, Joe, you've seen it at times when that pitcher throws a ball in the dirt, trying to, throw off the outside corner and give you a free ride and make a bad pitch.
Eddie Murray has had a bad night, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Didn't hit the ball hard the other 2 times he was retired. And in case you're wondering, not that it's really an option, his last sacrifice was just 16 years ago in 1979.
I guarantee he's sitting fastball here and trying to go.
He lines it into center. Here comes the pinch runner, Espinosa. Grissom fires to the plate. The Indians are back in the World Series.
He's sitting fastball. He'll do it all the time. You give him fastball first pitch, and especially from the left side. He's looking fastball, gets a high fastball from Pena, and rips it into center, and the Indians win.
0 for 5 to that point, but even on a bad night, and at age 39, still one of the guys you don't want to see at the plate if you're the opposing pitcher or manager with a game on the line. He's been doing it his entire career.
Well, he's always dangerous, in that type of situation where he can win the ball game because he knows what to do. He won't overswing. He'll just try to get that little line drive back through the middle as he does here. Fastball up and in, and he fights it off a little bit and hits it back through the middle for a base hit. Grissom charges. He gives it a good shot, but throw a little bit up the line, and Espinosa scores. And Espinosa coming around third, they're waving him home. He was struggling a little bit, but he's able to make it.
Well, Cox had to get Wohlers out before Hargrove had to hook Mesa. And maybe that was the difference. Who should we give the player of the game to?
How about Jose Mesa? What a job he did, huh?
It's too late to argue. Tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is Jose Mesa. And you can make a very good case for him anyway. In conjunction with this program, Chevrolet will contribute a total of $50,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America in the names of all players of the game for the 1995 Major League Baseball season. Al, Jim, and Tim, have fun the next couple of nights. We've given you a series again. Local news coming up, followed by The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Dean Cain and Joe Theismann among the guests. For Joe Morgan and Bob Uecker, I'm Bob Costas. Some ball game in Cleveland. Good night, everybody.
The Breeders' Cup.
Welcome Grammy Award-winning EMI recording artist John Cicada for the singing of tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And we're back with the start of the fourth game of the 1995 World Series after this.
Rex and Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth.
And welcome back to Jacobs Field, a beautiful facility, 2 years old, downtown Cleveland. They are alive tonight, the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians. And welcome back. Last night, or early this morning, the game ended. What a game it was. The third one-run game in this World Series, each won by the home team. The game was the third longest in terms of time in the history of the World Series, 4 hours, 9 minutes, ending at 12:42 a.m. and well worth it for the Cleveland Indians. They get back into the swing of things, winning at 7-6 in 11 innings. And Tim McCarver, every World Series has its ebb and its flow. Where's this baby flowing right now?
Well, Bobby Cox telling us before the game that regardless of whether the Atlanta Braves win the World Series or not, last night's game will be very, very difficult to forget. So I think the Cleveland Indians have a little momentum going into tonight's game, even though they trail in the series 2-1. And speaking of momentum, that's exactly what the Atlanta Braves want on the road in the World Series. They lost 4 in a row in Minnesota at the Metrodome in 1991, 2 of 3 in the World Series in '92 at Sky Dome, and they lost last night. 6 of those 7 losses on the road, by the way, one-run games. And I think realistically, what Atlanta would like to do is win at least one game here in the next 2 meetings and take a cushion back to Atlanta.
And they can't blame jet lag. Almost all of those games have been played in the Eastern time zone. Of course. Jim Palmer, let's talk about the pitchers here. Pitchers love to work on 4 days rest, but 2 guys tonight in a vital game working in a week and a half, they haven't seen any action.
10 days between stars. I can't think of a worse scenario than to do it here at Jacobs Field. Steve Avery of the Braves and Kenny Hill of the Indians, what have they been doing over the last 10 days? They've been in the bullpen. They've been throwing as much as they can. They've been trying to do a simulated game, having a hitter stand up there, no umpire, and none of their mistakes have been getting hit. How will it affect them? Well, I'll tell you, location. And in this ballpark, you can get killed. The pitches that are supposed to be down in the strike zone, they may be up in the strike zone. And most of all, you have a tendency when you struggle with your control to stop throwing strikes. If they go 2-0 and 3-1 tonight, Al, we will see in this ballpark, again, a hitter-friendly ballpark, a lot of runs.
Right now, let's get a word from Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Al, Mark Lemke echoed Bobby Cox. He said the mood in the Braves clubhouse was one of frustration. They thought they should have won last night, be up 3-0 and finish it here in Cleveland. He said, look for Dave Justice to break out of his slump. Justice has no extra base hits in the postseason. Well, as for the Indians, Eddie Murray celebrated his game-winning hit by going out last night and having a late-night, early-morning breakfast with some good friends. He told me about an hour ago that win does not necessarily change the momentum in this series, but it does put the Indians, as he said, one game closer to 4. Al?
Okay, Leslie, 3 very exciting games in the World Series thus far. Will there be a 4th? We'll be back with the 4th game of the 1995 World Series after this ABC News Brief and a word from our ABC stations. No more popular Indian in the history of this franchise, and they've been around since just about the turn of the century, than Bullet Bob. Bob Feller. Feller's all-time records include most wins by any Indian, and there he was just moments ago, prior to throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Bullet Bob, immortalized up on the wall here, your section 304. Number 19, pitched in the 1948 World Series, but not in the 1954 World Series. The Indians last won the World Championship in '48, and then in '54 swept by the Giants after winning 111 games during the regular season. Ken Hill coming in along with pitching coach Mark Wiley. Ken Hill started the season on the Montreal roster. In fact, last year he finished second to Greg Maddux of the Braves in the Cy Young balloting, won 16 games in the truncated year, then was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals. He had been with the Cardinals earlier in his career. And then in late July, when all of the contending clubs were looking for late season help and people like David Cone were available and some others, the Indians opted for Ken Hill. And Steve Avery, in terms of experience, he has plenty in World Series play. This is his 5th World Series start. He started 2 games in '91, 2 more in '92, but here he is, still young, even though he's been playing professional ball since 1988. But he is the number 4 starter on this staff, and he's the kind of pitcher with his stuff who'd be number 1 on a few staffs. Bobby Cox, as we mentioned at the very top, had a choice. And remember, he did pitch Greg Maddux on 3 days rest in the divisional series against the Colorado Rockies, which surprised a lot of people when the Braves led 2-1. But here he opted, after the victory in Game 1, to give Maddux his normal 4 days rest to work tomorrow.
It's interesting to note that about 10 years ago, almost every manager would have chosen Greg Maddux, but because of the contemporary mode, most pitchers looking for 4 days rest. That's why Maddux is pitching tomorrow night and not tonight.
Yeah, his pitch count not very high in Game 1, only 93, so he could have pitched tonight. But really, if you look at this matchup, Mike Hargrove believes in Kenny Hill. He pitched very well down the stretch, and the same thing with Bobby Cox and Steve Avery.
Ken Hill, the number 4 starter. As we take a look now at tonight's Budweiser Atlanta Braves lineup, Marquise Grissom leading off, Luis Polonia in left field, Chipper Jones, the rookie, at third, Fred McGriff having a great postseason at first base, David Justice struggling in postseason in right field, Ryan Klesko is the designated hitter, the DH used in the World Series in the American League parks. Javi Lopez does the catching, Mark Lemke at second base, and Rafael Belliard is the shortstop, batting ninth. Now the outfield for Cleveland, Bell, Lofton, and Ramirez. The infield, Espinoza gets the start at third. He platoons with Tomei. Vizquel at shortstop, errorless in postseason. Baerga made a couple of great plays last night, and so did Perry at first base, really the unsung hero. Alomar back of the plate, Hill on the mound.
29-year-old Kenny Hill, as Al told you, St. Louis at the beginning of the year, traded to Cleveland, went 4-1. There's the fastball. That's the 4-seamer. Holding it across the seams and hoping that that ball is going to rise. There we go. The slider. That is his breaking ball, and the pitch he'll use for his off-speed pitch will be the splitter. And this is a pitch, I tell you what, he is very adept at getting double plays when he gets ahead in the count. If you're Atlanta, you can look for that pitch.
The umpires tonight. An American League umpire is back of the plate. John Hirschbeck, Frank Pulley at first, Joe Brinkman at second, Harry Wendelstedt at third, Jim McKean down the line in left, Bruce Fremming, who to me was the bravest man in Cleveland last night, down the line in right. Bruce worked the plate last night and worked them in shirt sleeves. The crowd looked like they were at a Browns game in December, and Bruce in shirt sleeves at 12:42 this morning. Good for him. Mike Hargrove. He said, I spent all day getting the thorns out of my hide. Everybody questioning a lot of his decisions, but they would have been a lot tougher had the Indians been down 0-3 instead of 1-2. Here we go with Grissom to lead off, and it's hit right back through the middle for a base hit with about 20,000 flash bulbs popping on the first pitch. Grissom with a single to center to start things. Marquise with good speed at first, nobody out. Polonia coming up.
Marquise Grissom and Ken Hill were teammates last year with the Montreal Expos, and then in that fire sale, Larry Walker going as a free agent to the Colorado Rockies. John Wetland traded to the New York Yankees, and the history on Hill and Marquise Grissom traded to the Atlanta Braves. But this is very important. The setup men for the Atlanta Braves, they have not been on that often. They haven't really been running that much during the series.
And there goes Grissom, and the first pitch is a strike, and the throw is a one-hopper that is not in time.
You know, we've talked so much and you've seen so much about Kenny Lofton of the Indians, but Grissom now in 12 straight games, and he is the only guy that really runs on this ball club. 29 steals during the regular season. You can see the jump. Alomar with a throw from one knee, no possible chance as a throw a little bit to the short side, stop side. You can see on one knee, he knows he has to hurry, and if you're Kenny Hill, you let Grissom get that kind of jump, he'll take third.
Well, he tried to take third at one point last night, but not at a very opportune time.
Well, do you bunt here with Polonia early in the ball game?
I think I do. And they throw in and almost get him. So Grissom, who was in effect picked off last night, though the out was recorded at third, almost gets picked off tonight.
You know, that brings up a very intriguing point. We are playing in the American League. We'll take another look at this pickoff, and it is very close. But you're playing in the American League with the DH in a small ballpark. I don't know if you want to give up an out in the first inning, even though Polonia is not a very good pull hitter.
Well, that's obviously Bobby Cox agrees with you. Now it's 0-2, so that negates the bunt.
Chipper Jones is waiting on deck. And it's a half swing. No, says the third base umpire Harry Wendelstedt. Ball one.
Well, there's that fork ball. And I said that they will look for it with two strikes. Looking for it and hitting it, two different things. It appears to be a fastball. Hill throws 93, 95 miles per hour, and that ball dives. Polonia looked like he stayed back.
And that's popped up. Vizquel calls for it on the skin part. One down. First inning. Grissom at second base with one away, and Chipper Jones coming up. Jones still sporting that cut on his upper lip. Friday, before the first game of the World Series, the night before in Atlanta, fielding a ball off the wall in the outfield. It caromed off his lip. There was a lot of blood, but he's fine. And again, a bluff back to second base. One reason Jones was fielding balls in the outfield is he is a great outfielder. He may be the third baseman in Atlanta for a long time, but a lot of people think his best position and his eventual position is center field. To the switch hitter.
That was a non-productive out by Luis Polonia. I'll tell you, you win a lot of ball games by making productive outs and moving runners along, particularly in this situation, because now it's going to be tougher for Grissom to steal third with the left-handers coming up, Jones, McGriff, and Justice.
High to Jones, 1-1.
Yeah, Kenny Hill will be very aware, as you talked about it, and you know, Kenny Hill telling us before game one he thought Marquise Grissom may be the best center fielder in the game. He saw him steal 76, 78 bases up at Montreal, so he's going to keep an eye.
Jones hits it to center field. Lofton started in, but has plenty of time to get back, and Grissom tags, and the throw is offline. So Marquise goes to third with 2 down.
Well, that's heads-up base running, and the reason, of course, if you're Grissom, you know Lofton's going to catch the ball. If he tags up, you're not going to take the splitter away from Hill, but I'll tell you what, if you're Kenny Hill, you're going to think, if you get ahead in the count, that maybe I have to get that splitter up a little bit, because if you bounce the slider or the splitter, Atlanta may be on the board.
And Fred McGriff would love for him to get that splitter up.
McGriff having a terrific postseason. On the right, 370 is overall average. Smoked one into the seats last night. That was real good base running, the more you think about it, by Grissom, because if Lofton had read it right and been able to come in and make the catch and get some momentum behind the throw, that was one thing. But Kenny had started in, and Grissom saw him going back to make the catch, and he really couldn't get that much on the throw. 2-0.
I know it's the first inning as we take a look at Bobby Cox, and you know, McGriff hits and has hit Hill pretty well, but the guy on deck, David Justice, 1 for 25. I know you haven't been out there in 11 days, but he may be thinking about that.
Strike, 2-1.
There's the 2-0 split-fingered fastball. A little bit of respect for Freddie McGriff.
Away for ball 3. No score, top of the first inning in game 4. Grissom led off with a single, stole second to third on a fly ball. 2 out.
Splitter grip right there.
And the pitch is low. He threw the splitter for ball 4. So pitching around a hot hitter here in the first inning to get to a guy that Hill has handled before in Justice.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out, Al. I can testify to that. I mean, I hated to give up big innings early in a ball game, but again, when you have a guy like McGriff, and if you're Kenny Hill, you've pitched against him, you know what he can do. It's kind of a crapshoot. You'll take your better chance, and you can see the numbers right there. 1 for 25.
A little dangerous for Ken Hill to go into that splitter grip before he goes into the glove. Of course, he can change it.
I'm wondering, maybe he does that on every pitch, Tim.
0-1. Did you notice that Justice's only lifetime hit off Hill was a home run?
That was back in 1990. And here's the splitter down and away to David.
Strike 2.
I think now's a good time to send McGriff at first base. I don't think Alomar will throw through with Grissom on at third, and if he does, then you've got Perry playing behind McGriff. We'll see if Bobby Cox lets him go. If he gets thrown out, well, then you've got Justice leading off. But the big thing is Grissom comes home if he throws through.
He stays, and the pitch is outside. He laid off. 1-2.
Well, that's what David Justice talked about in the workout before game one. Hurt his shoulder in May. He said, I'm just going to cut down on my swing. And that's what he's trying to do with 2 strikes. He's got to protect all 17 inches of that plate, up and down, in and out.
Crowd exhorting / imploring Hill to get the strikeout here. First and third, 2 out. And that's grounded to Vizquel softly to Baerga for the force. And Atlanta squanders a threat in the first, leaving a pair. Braves nothing, Indians coming up.
Sunday, we're putting the bite on having a good time. So get into the groove and crash out party. Because
Lamb chop.
Right.
Steve Avery on the mound. Postseason this year, 1-0. Again, it's his 5th World Series start. 3rd man picked overall in the draft in 1988. Tonight's Budweiser Cleveland Indian lineup. Kenny Lofton in center. Omar Vizquel at short. Carlos Baerga, one of last night's heroes, at second. Albert Bell in left. Eddie Murray with a game-winning hit in the 11th. Manny Ramirez in right. Perry at first base. Espinoza gets the start at third. And Sandy Alomar back of the plate. Atlanta defensively. Polonia, Grissom, and Justice in the outfield. Jones, Belliard, Lemke, 74 errorless chances in postseason play this year at second. And McGriff at first. Lopez back of the plate. Steve Avery on the mound.
Now you go back to the first postseason that Avery pitched, which was 1991. He pitched 16 2/3 innings. And Andy Van Slyke called him Poison Avery, and because he got left-handers out so well. And this year 198. So you think it's got to be a good matchup.
Kenny Lofton got aboard 6 times last night. 3 hits, 3 walks. Ball 1, 1-0. And a one-man gang, and rips this one to right field, but right at Justice. Good wood, but only allowed out. Game 4 of the World Series is being brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection.